calling in right now to give us a little bit of insight on some of the things that went down last night. It is the senior NFL insider here at The Athletic, Dianna Russini. Dianna, how you holding up? How you doing over there?
Not a lot of sleep, guys. I'm running on fumes like you, but it's like the good fumes because it's all adrenaline at this point after, yesterday was nuts and I was on with you guys and I think you probably felt it when we were having that conversation that there was just a lot of stuff flying around, just a lot of information gathering and, just in general, the excitement around the league, it was so palpable. Even just through text messages, I could feel like how pumped everyone was. So then you get through the draft and last night, everyone just kind of took a big exhale of what the heck just happened? And so I spent most of the day, guys, just trying to get a vibe on what everyone thought about everyone else's moves, right? Because everyone thinks they won the draft last night. I don't really want to hear from them. I want to hear about what everyone around them thought, what people in their division thought. So I spent a lot of time on the phone today for you guys.
We thought there was going to be some craziness in the top 10, but for the most part, the first 7 picks were pretty chalky. I mean, it was a lot of predictions that a lot of people had when doing mocks. That changed at pick number 8 with the Falcons picking Michael Penix. Dianna, you had a tweet last night just kind of sifting through the Falcons' thought process as relates to that pick. The idea that they knew or hoped that they weren't going to be drafting this high anytime soon. And this was a chance to not only think about their quarterback position now, but for the future. Just walk us through what the Falcons were thinking when they ultimately made that move to draft Michael Penix.
So the way they see it, it's actually very simple through their prism. We think we're going to be a really good team for the next 2 years under Kirk Cousins, and our opportunity and chances of getting a good quarterback at the top of a draft probably won't be there for us. We'll be picking late. So we like this guy. We think he's worth picking him with the top 10 pick, and we're just going to go after him. Was it the plan the entire time headed into the draft? I was told no. They were going defense. In fact, there was a time where they were considering even moving up. There was a time yesterday afternoon, the Rams were calling them. Remember, we'd had that conversation yesterday that they were in very serious talks about trading with the Rams having their eyes on Bowers. So in the end, for them, they felt that this was the right move. And really the drama that, of course, came with it was, when Kirk Cousins met with the Falcons formally, they let him know, hey, we're going to probably draft your successor coming up here in the draft in a few weeks. And, later round, most likely, that's how it's going to go. So the plan was never to go, or at least they didn't inform him that they were going to go for his successor with their top pick. So the second that pick came out, I immediately reached out to Cousins' agent to just try to get a feel for how he was kind of comprehending all of it at the moment, because I think we were stunned. So I thought maybe he knew about it and he didn't. They called him exactly when they were on the clock. They let him know. He was on his way going to some event for the Falcons, actually. And he was told about this. So they're not happy. They're really, really upset, actually, about this. And it's continuing today. Tons of people around the league are obviously discussing it and dissecting it. But just through his perspective, you can understand why he doesn't believe that this is good, not just for him individually and making that quarterback room just a little strange, a little awkward, perhaps. But the pressure that it now puts on Kirk. And then, of course, he went to Atlanta with this idea that they're going to go and try to win a Super Bowl and to use a pick on a quarterback that isn't even going to or isn't most likely to step in there for another few seasons. It just doesn't make them better today.
It seems like they're throwing a wrench in those successful 2 seasons that they're about to have.
Exactly. They have needs. And I think that's the part of this that is really shocking teams that all saw this last night of this isn't a roster that was set. They weren't just a quarterback away and let's start building for the future. No. You guys have been discussing what the Falcons need, not just today, but in the podcast before. So look, they didn't do that much work. They went to a 45-minute workout in Seattle and saw him. They never brought him in for a visit, which, you guys understand the visit and the importance of it. And I don't think a lot of fans truly get the importance of it in terms of the install to go over the offense that the team is doing right in front of their eyes. And usually the way it works for most of the teams I talk to, the player gets an email with a couple of plays in there, with the install, with the offense. They get brought in for the meeting. They meet the coaches. They get some time to continue to study it. They go over it. And then it's game time. And they're usually in some meeting room and they're standing there at the line of scrimmage and the play caller calls out the plays and they want to see the process. How are they able to process the information? And it's so important because we know the most successful quarterbacks we have all seen are those that can process the material at a really quick pace. And that's really the best way you can do it, is just to test them in the moment. So the fact that they were willing to do that without even that time together is crazier to me than the Washington Topgolfers. Like, that is without a doubt the most bizarre thing. So look, around the league, I can't find a GM that's like, I kind of get, no, everyone thinks that's crazy. On top of the fact that you have an owner who's 81 years old, he's not trying to win when he's 90. He wants to win now.
What changed? If they were considering moving down with the Rams, if they were considering moving up for a defensive player, what ultimately pushed them this direction?
They didn't truly believe Penix would be there. So once they saw that Penix was on the board still, they said, "Ooh, we got to do this," right? And obviously, all of this had its own tentacles to other things, like the Denver Broncos, let's say, right? Because think about it, Terry Fontenot helped Denver here in all of this because they took the quarterback that Vegas wanted, right? Well, we assumed that Vegas wanted, and based on the conversations I had. And so Denver could just sit there and they were ready to go, obviously, with Bo Nix, which I'm sure we'll get to. But really, the whole choosing of this, the picking, and now with how they're going to live in this, I called some people from Minnesota today just to get their reaction to this. What do you think? How's Kirk's situation? And they're like, there's no way he's happy. There's no way he's going to be happy there. That is not what he signed up for, a honeymoon that did not last very long.